Hey guys, J77 here doing another audio topic. It's an audio topic that I was meaning to have a discussion with for quite some time. It was a discussion that I was going to bring up last year, but decided to touch on another subject that is pretty much relatable to what I'm about to say. And the topic is about Black History Month, and what better way than to finish off the last week of February to actually have a discussion as well as comments relating to this discussion about people who also feels that Black History Month is important, not important, and as well as giving their reasons why. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because for the last few years, I've been noticing a lot of activists and celebrities pretty much having a cold shoulder to the idea of having Black History Month. Black History Month, as you all know, is supposed to be a month where we celebrate the achievements as well as be aware of the struggles that a lot of African Americans have went through, their accomplishments, what obstacles they had to overcome. The most famous activists like Frederick Douglass, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, to even those who surprisingly are not even mentioned in history books or just seem to be put on the sidelines, never being mentioned unless someone actually really looks it up. Black history is supposed to help further that. Supposed to help bring attention to our leaders as well as turning points in our history, whether good or bad. And I will say right now, I don't have a problem with Black History Month. I think it's important that we have Black History Month, but most importantly, that I feel that Black History Month and history period should be handled with respect and care, which means don't just celebrate it just one month. Go beyond that. Learn more about our ancestors. Learn more about our history behind a lot of stuff that we sometimes take for granted, and educate ourselves and learn from the mistakes from others. That way, we can better ourselves for the future. Which brings me to why I'm bringing this discussion up, because a lot of activists seems to be dead set against this, and it's not the whites who was against this. It's actually African Americans, including celebrities, who feel that this is an unnecessary month to have. One of the people I'm going to be mentioning is Morgan Freeman. Now, Morgan Freeman is no stranger to political views. He talks about it. He has no. He's not afraid to bring up his opinion, whether you agree or disagree with his opinion, as well as bringing his political views and agendas. This was mentioned in an interview, in a sit-down interview, about his own personal feelings towards Black History Month, and needless to say, his response was surprised even the person who asked him. It was a very cold response, a very resentment remark, but it was something he said that really got me thinking about about why he had a problem with Black History Month, and why I feel that in some ways he do have a point. Now, he mentioned that why should I celebrate our history for one month? What happens after that? So basically, we're gonna celebrate, and then we're gonna just push it aside. And he has a point, and he really do, because regardless of whether you feel what is Black History Month, Women History Month, Latino History Month, it's still history. Why should we just pick a certain month to embrace it? We don't do that with any other history that happens in this country. Why isolate history to a particular month? Why not embrace it all year round? And that goes not just for Black history, but for all history. Period. Why confine it? And another thing about it, and it also brought my feeling towards it, and it is more so now than ever, is I'm finding a lot of people from all races seems to be shutting out history as if A, it didn't exist, or B, sanitizing it to the point where it makes it look good, because they don't want to admit that the heroes may have done something shady during that time. This was mentioned in my video last year when I was talking about the censorship of historical books as well as fiction relating to historical events. I feel it's wrong to try and sugarcoat it or try to rearrange the words so that way it won't sound offensive. Some things need to be offensive to get their point across, and the fact that you have a lot of people, including African American activists, trying to rewrite history is something that sickens me and disgusts me. And this is no different because I'm seeing a lot of people shutting out history, blanking it out, not recognizing what has happened in the past, to learn from the future. And there's an old saying: when you deny the past, when you shut it away, and definitely deny the events that happened in the past, you're doomed to repeat the same scenario. And a lot of people seem to be doing that a lot more when it comes to these tough, very sensitive issues. Something that is very ugly, something that is very uncomfortable, something that actually stirs up emotion. But instead of learning from that, we just said we don't want to deal with that. It has nothing to do with us. Let's shut it out. And I think that's something that I think Morgan Freeman was hitting on when it comes to this, because there's no way 1 month we can cover every last bit of African American achievement or the events leading to changes in the laws, the tragedies that happened, that which caused the black stain in this country. There's a lot of events that happen, and not just in African history, but in women history, Latino history, all history, to cover in 1 month. And secondly, what happens after that month? We're just not going to talk about anything that happens in Black history again, and that's something that I feel that that's what he was trying to say. Why just keep it in 1 month? Why we're Americans? Why don't we embrace everything as just one? There's a lot to be said about that. I do agree with it because a lot of people feel the same way. I do agree what they're coming from when it comes to don't just make it 1 month, make it a whole year, every day. And I completely understand why they feel that way, especially those who feel, me included, that the younger group is seen to be shutting out the fact that these events have happened. I've already mentioned about how a lot of people want to include slavery because they don't want their forefathers to look bad. That's going to change the fact that what has happened in the past actually happened. No, let's see it. Let's bring it out so that way we can learn from that. And nothing more was proven than what has happened a few weeks ago with Lil Wayne. This was something that has brought huge attention, and I ask myself constantly about this: have Lil Wayne truly understand what has happened, what has really truly happened to this boy, who he mentioned in a rap song, a lyric on which links sex to a person who was very murdered, Emmett Till. Would he have actually put that in there? Would he have actually put it in there if he actually had known the details of what happened? And in case you guys don't know, and I mentioned this in the Entertainment Roundup, and I'm mentioning it now because I'm trying to prove a point here, is that Lil Wayne have made a comment saying that, trying to say that sex to death of Emmett Till. The lyrics was very much like, I beat that P, they beat Emmett Hill, and it really sparked a lot of controversy. A lot of people were not very happy about it. The family of the deceased was not very happy of it. Even the label has said that reached out to the family, said that was out of character, that was out of that was not something that we condoned, and they actually made a decision, at least from their label, to edit that out. Now, there's been mentioned that he has his own label, so that may stay on his own label. But the point was that it was definitely out of poor taste, and definitely pretty much spitting in the grave of a person who was beaten to death for whistling at a white woman. Two men beat this person together, they gouged his eyes out, they beat him to the point where he was completely unrecognizable. And when you see the picture, which they had an article, the mother decided to open the casket so the world can see just what they did to her boy. When you see it, it's just sickening. Your stomach turns to knot. What's even more sad about this is that the two guys who committed this crime have never been convicted. And they got off, and they later on admitted through a magazine, that they have committed this crime, which is even more sickening because, as you know, you can't try someone twice after they have been went through the system. If they was pleaded innocent, that's it. So they can actually admit it, and nothing would happen to them. To me, they're a bunch of cowards, and the fact that they actually got off really angered me. This sparked a lot of change. This sparked movement. This case alone sparked movement. It sparked action, which still is being reminded today. Now, my question is, did Lil Wayne knew this? Did Lil Wayne knew the whole story, or just knew pieces of it and thought it was a good idea to put that in his rap? And this is the thing I've been seeing a lot especially with even celebrities, that a lot of celebrities either don't know the gist of the history or just choose to ignore it. And a lot of people are choosing to ignore it, and then we got this situation that popped out. This is history. This should be learned. This should be something that should be talked about in class, because this is the kind of stuff that actually happened. This stuff prompted change. This tragedy should never be forgotten. And yet, a lot of people seem to either choose to forget or just don't want to know about it because it's too painful. History also has pain, but it's important to learn why stuff has happened. Again, I don't know if Lil Wayne has apologized. From what I've seen, he hasn't. In fact, he's more concerned about him probably being banned from basketball than what he had said in his lyrics. And to be fair, he is a controversial rapper. But still, there should be some better taste into the person he had mentioned. It should be something more better respect. And the fact that he had mentioned it really questions, does he really know the history behind it? Because I'm pretty sure if he did, he wouldn't have said it. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is this is part of the history that should be mentioned. There should be brought up in history books, as well as other stuff that is considered to be very painful. Roswell massacre is a perfect example of that. There were times where people didn't want to talk about it, try to sweep it on the rug like as if it didn't happen, but it did happen, and people who knew it happened did not let others forget. They kept telling their stories, and it's been finally, after years and years and years, it has been recognized. There's a memorial out for those who have died there. There was a movie based on the event, which I will be doing a review very, very soon. These are the kind of things that has to be remembered. As painful as it is, and how cringing it is, these are the kind of stuff that we really need to remind ourselves of, because this is history. History cannot always be sprinkly sparkles with cherry on top. Yeah, there are some great leaders who've done great things, but there's also that other history that we also need to acknowledge in order for this country to grow. And Black history, to me, is one of those things. There's a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't know about. There's a lot of activists, leaders, pioneers that get swept under the radar in favor of other stuff, like other stuff that really has, even though they're good accomplishments, but really don't tell the whole gist of how these accomplishments came about. We know about Martin Luther King. We know about Malcolm X. We know about a lot of these activists. But do we really know about the struggles they have to go through, the pains they have to go through? Do we know the other ones that we don't know, the leaders, the pioneers that also shaped the way this country is? There's a lot of them out there that doesn't get mentioned in history books, or don't get researched because people don't even know they exist. These are the kind of stuff that that needs to be explored. And I don't think Black History Month does that, at least not in the full potential that it needs to do. And I think that for the most part, history, not just Black history, but history needs to be explored every day. We need to learn from history every day, educate ourselves every day. You're never too young and you're never too old to learn. And that's the main gist of my feeling towards Black History Month, as well as Black History period. Look, I have nothing against Black History Month, alright? I'm not resentment against it. I'm glad it's there. I'm glad it's being taught in the classroom, but I feel that it's only so much you can teach within a 1 month span that really needs to be further explored. I know that the teachers have curriculums they have to go by. That's not the main problem I have. I feel personally, for a black man as well as anyone who's a culture, they should actually take it upon themselves as well to learn about the past, to learn about the answers, to learn about the leaders and accomplishments, to ask about books that have history on our ancestors, as well as just basically ask questions as to about prominent heroes, prominent leaders, and events that have taken place during specific time periods, so that way you can learn. A perfect example of this is Red Tails. The minute I saw Red Tails, I wanted to learn more about Red Tails. I've heard about the Tuskegee Airmen, but I never really explored them. And regardless of what many people feel about Red Tails, the movie, I know George Lucas gets a lot of bashing. I will say this: at least George Lucas, for the most part, of his movie, The Red Tails, got me to really want to know more about it, got me to actually do more research on it. And I say it, I'm very proud to see that movie, if anything else, to learn more about the Tuskegee Airmen, as well as other pilots that wasn't even mentioned in movie medium. So there you go. So there's always good to come out of it, and that's the important thing, to learn, to continue learning. Because just when you think you know everything that happens, there's always something there that you say, "Oh, I didn't know that." Well, that's amazing. Let me learn more about that. That's my feeling towards Black History Month. I'm glad it's taught, but I also feel it needs to go beyond Black History Month. It needs to go beyond that isolation. I'm glad we have it, but let's not make it the only time we actually look back of our history. Let's make it an everyday thing. Let's talk to our parents about it, how it was in their time, because they probably lived through the stuff that that is being said in history, and learn from their perspective. Use it. There's a lot of resource out there. There's a lot of knowledge out there. Look for it, use it, utilize it, and learn from it. Well, that's pretty much it for now. I'm going to be waiting for your guys' comments. If you guys agree or disagree, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But I would like to hear your own input on the matter, your own feelings towards the matter. Give your own thoughts on this matter. Whether you think that Morgan Freeman is wrong and he shouldn't be bashing on Black History Month, or do you feel he's absolutely right about what he has said? Give me a thought about it. I will, if the video is up on YouTube, I will leave it as a link. But for now, this is J77 saying take care, be safe, and I see you next time. I talk to you next time. Later.